tablets for all the students. It was a good point. And it cost a lot of finance and budget from the government. However, we should also allow to have the internet always working,
Sure.
not to be off. That reduces the efforts and frustrates the learners and the trainers as well. You know something, that rating the universities, the 1,000 universities, out of which Cairo University was #1 in Egypt, but it's 350 rank, and it doesn't depend on haphazard criteria.
Sure.
It depends on factors and rubrics like the number of researches done, their care for the research centers, their encouragement for the high studies, postgraduate studies, for getting PhD, and it depends also on the foreign members of staff, not only the Egyptian members of staff. I work also in a foreign university here in Egypt, not the case to mention it now, because you mentioned Ain Shams University. Ain Shams is where I graduated, actually having my master's degree before. However, sustainability, participating effectively in the different conferences and seminars and
And also, sir, I think one of the criteria is how many research were published in international periodicals and journals. And especially when it comes to medicine, for example, we do have a number of distinguished research which were published, and they are all written by all our professors, something which we should all be proud of.
Sure. This point you have mentioned, that we have to be always researching. Researchers are given the priority in so many different countries, maybe around us. I don't like to mention exactly.
Yeah.
So these scientific researches enhance the productivity and the results that we are targeting.
Yeah.
And we have to encourage them, to finance them, to encourage what we call the TOT, training of trainers, because these are the work team and the workforce that can get what we aim at all the time.
Sir, you mentioned a very important point, which is or different governmental institutions should cooperate and coordinate efforts together for the best interest of the student. So when you mentioned, for example, the TAPS and the internet, meaning that there should be such full coordination between Ministry of Higher Education or even Education and the Ministry of IT or Information Technology. And when it comes, as we said, with the medicine, for example, so I mean, the Ministry of Health should give the medical students or medical professors access to their hospitals nationwide. So how do you see the importance of having this full coordination among different governmental institutions?
Really, it's exceedingly important, not only important, because these are the steps that we have to follow in the path of development and to be coping with all what's happening all around us. You know, you mentioned the idea of surgeons or medical surgeons. These people actually sometimes go to get what we call the FRCS, Fellowship of Royal Academy of Surgery from Britain.
For example.
That's an example.
Yeah.
Nowadays we have something else to emphasize. I heard that a new faculty has been inaugurated for the AI, artificial intelligence.
Amen.
So this is also to be given due importance.
And artificial intelligence is the future by any means.
It is.
And it's going to invade all fields, or already it invaded all fields. Sir, because of all what we are saying, it's also a must to speak about other types of learning. E-learning, as you've kindly mentioned, and also the online learning, not only here in Egypt. I mean, our students can apply online in other universities all over the world.
Sure.
And this is part and parcel of our educational process, if you want to elaborate on that too.
Mhm. Yes, you mentioned that they can participate in foreign universities away from Egypt, online learning and the e-learning, electronic learning, and they have to check with so many of their supervisors and tutors, because one cannot work alone. We are not in an isolated island. The
This is
world
it.
now is a small village, unlike the past when means of communication, and by the way, the faculties for computer science and communications are also highly wanted in the labor market, as you mentioned earlier, the labor market. So if we have these people, maybe they are picked up not only in Egypt, those also have the technological education. I heard recently that so many of the graduates of these technological schools, 5-year schools, for instead of the trade school that were in the past. I remember the Mubarak coal project before. They are picked up not only in Egypt but in the Gulf countries and even in Germany itself. This is something actually to make us proud of, and we have to encourage them. Let us encourage their self-motivation, rewarding them financially, psychologically, by all means, and to focus on them, on the mass.
And to change the culture of us. I mean,
Exactly.
it's not only about first, by the way, I don't know who classified faculties of engineering and medicine as the top faculties and other faculties as the bottom. You know, these concepts, I think it's not valid anymore. And they should not take it into consideration, because if you are interested in agriculture, for example, so you should join faculty of agriculture. If you are interested in law and studying law, so you are going to be successful in that. Do you think that this culture now is really changing?
It is, of course, changing according to requirements of the present era in which we live. And the factors that define such requirements are set by some educational research centers. Not me, not any other people who are non-specialized.
Yeah.
And they have advanced ideas. They look at experiments that have been done in other countries.
Yeah.
They benefit from them, and they try to implement them in our country according to the needs of the labor market and the society at large.
Dr. Nabil, a final question about the collaboration and coordination among different universities here in Egypt, because this is another phenomena which is really great and has such a positive impact on the ground. I mean, practically, there are tangible positive results with coordination among our different universities. And this is also for the best interest of the graduates, because a graduate who can benefit from a vision of this university and another vision of another one, I think this is something which we should encourage. How do you see this, and how do you see their impact?
Let me not to forget to mention the encouragement and the guidelines given by the political leadership. And we have to remember also that we have the Supreme Council for Universities.
Yes.
This council has all the presidents of all universities, whether the governmental, the national, the local, the private, and of course they discuss what's the welfare for our future students and the labor market requirements. And of course they set the curriculum through some specialized personnel who know exactly what they need, benefiting from others abroad, and even for searching the net. You know, some of my students, sometimes when I ask him or her, where have you got such an item you mentioned? He say, I Googled it.
Yeah.
I actually wonder for the word Googled as a verb, but that's what he said. And I really admired him, and I encouraged him. I asked his colleagues and classmates to give him a hand, because he is searching the Google. Even I have a young granddaughter, who sometimes said, Carla, how did you know this? She said, grandpa, I got it from Google.
Yes.
So I encouraged her. And
The
sometimes,
hunger for knowledge, which is very
so
positive,
this
and
is
we
the
should
new generation,
encourage
which we have
our
to
new
encourage.
generation to
Sure.
do so and to continue on this
Right.
wonderful right track.
Okay.
Well, Dr. Nabil Gad, professor of Ain Shams University, thank you very much for your input, sir, and have a very good day.
Thank you so much.
Right after the short break, we're going to return back with more, so stay tuned.